Welcome everyone to another edition of Wrestle Theme Reviews. I am Cornshaq.
And I'm File91e.
This week, like every week, we're going to take 3 themes from the world of professional wrestling, rate them, and give them a score from 1 to 10.
Yep. Yeah, that's what we do. And last week,
we didn't do that.
We never did that. We didn't do that for one of the themes. We didn't do that for Juventude's theme.
Juventud Guerrera.
Juventud.
Summer Night in Spain.
Yes, sir.
So we are going to rate that theme now. I'm giving that theme a 7.
I want to give it a 6, because, I mean, you
have a grudge.
Yes, I have a grudge, because Juventud, he threw a water bottle at my face.
Yeah, well, that would make anyone hate someone.
Yes, but I love Juventud because he does the Juve drama, baby!
And runs naked through hotels?
Yeah, that's what he does.
So, yeah, we're going to give a 7 and a 6 to Juventud Guerrera's theme.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. That sounds good to me. But let's get to this week's show, man.
You were going to say Disney news and reviews, weren't you?
No, I wasn't.
You almost said news. You were going to let's get to the news or let's get to the reviews.
Cheap plug for my show. Fine.
Okay. Yeah, well, go check that out if you haven't already. So anyway, let's just hit that random button.
All right. I don't think I've heard this one on a live show or anything.
Yeah,
nature.
This is from the early days of that company, and I'm probably one of the few that was actually watching it and getting it every week. So that was the S.E.X, the S.E.X gimmick stable of Vince Russo's from the early days of TNA when he first came into TNA, and everyone says TNA was doomed from that very moment, but somehow they have survived, even with bringing Russo back a couple of times since then, including now. But they felt it was good for the company. He had a heel stable. It didn't last too long. The best thing that came out of it was probably Triple X, which was Low-Key, Christopher Daniels, and Elix Skipper.
Yeah, I really wasn't watching TNA right around this time because I didn't really care. And as soon as I found out that that Vince Russo was doing something with it, and I heard about this, I went, "Oh, that's great."
Yeah, it didn't go over very well. The crowd didn't really care about it, and he wasn't there long enough. It didn't last long enough for anyone to care. Like I said, best part of it, the Triple X tag team.
The only thing worse than S.E.X is HLA.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's about it.
Okay, so what are you giving this theme?
A 5.
I'll give it a 5 as well. I mean, it's a theme.
It does one of those things,
but you can't give it a 4 because it's not crappy.
It's not entirely crappy, but it still has it sounds like that early TNA theme. If you've listened to some of the earlier TNA themes, they have a certain sound to them. It sounds like that. I don't know. It's hard to describe. It's just not that good of a theme. Their themes in general, I don't think, have really become that good even now.
Yeah, they're like WCW themes. They're not getting any better.
No, there's a few good ones here and there, but they really just aren't that good. So let's move on to our next theme.
Another one I haven't heard of.
This is 2 for 2 for you. I've heard the theme before because I've listened to it on my playlist, but I never saw really it played, and I've seen a couple matches with the gimmick. But
let me listen to it. Let me listen to it.
So that was Super Liger. That was his theme from the New Japan Pro Wrestling 25th Anniversary Edition CD. But Super Liger, the actual wrestler, was actually from the early 90s.
Yes, and Super Liger is also known as Chris Jericho. That was Jericho under a mask, basically doing Jushin Thunder Liger gimmick, and he, I guess over in Japan they were just like, let's put him under a mask and he can wrestle, do some decent stuff.
They did similar things with like Eddie Guerrero. He was one of the Black Tigers, and so it was the kind of a common thing. But very soon after that, he unmasked and he was just the Lionheart Jericho over there in Japan, and eventually came to America and became a huge star even now.
Yeah, but honestly, it's kind of like what we do when Japanese stars come over here. We just throw them under a mask and say, "Go at it,"
or give them give them a random name that doesn't really matter. Give them generic Japanese name and get them over as "I'm from Japan and I'm evil."
Because Japan blew us up in Pearl Harbor.
I remember when they were going to bring in Kenzo Suzuki or whatever underneath that, like, evil emperor from, he was an ancestor of the emperor from the World War II Japan. That was brilliant. But anyway, what are you going to give this theme?
Okay, I want to give the theme a 5 as well, because it's a middle-of-the-line Japanese This is all. I guess you could classify this as some sort of a Japanese production theme, because
it's not really. It's still for the company.
It's
more. You're meaning it's more generic, not its production as they got it from the thing.
Would you let me finish?
No, but you're giving it the wrong impression. It's
every
not a
other
theme.
Japanese theme sounds like this. Listen to them. They get the same thing. I guarantee you.
Most of them sound exactly the same, but I love the guitar in the Japanese themes, and a lot of people, I'm sure, love the Japanese themes for those reasons. They sound better musically than, let's say, some of the earlier TNA themes, like that S.E.X theme that we just listened to.
And you know what?
This sounds much better than that musically.
You know what other theme this is better than?
What?
TL Hopper. Yeah. Gotta have it in there. Because I missed it last week.
Yeah, you did. So anyway, I'm going to give the theme a 6. It's above average for a theme, and it's not an all-time classic from Japan. But still, it's better musically than S.E.X or early TNA themes.
Okay, you go ahead and give it a 6. I'm whatever.
So let's just move on to our next theme.
Hit it!
Well, this is it's not the best ever, but it's still going to give us something to talk about.
Yeah. That was WWE's Goldberg theme, and it was one of my favorite themes when Goldberg came in WWE at that time. So I'm pleased that we got this.
This is one of those ones. It's not as good as WCW one because that's a classic, because that's when he first came in, but still a very good theme. Goldberg, I'm sure he still has a lot of fans out there, because he still gets over. If he just showed up tomorrow on a WWE, he would be massively over.
Well, because you knew he was going to spear somebody and give him the jackhammer.
That's what made it fun. I loved Goldberg in WCW for just destroying people, but because his in-ring work was shoddy, and he did hurt Bret Hart and pretty much ended Bret Hart's career, and had a great moment against Chronic when he ran his head into into the ring post and knocked himself out cold, busted and cut his arm open in a windshield, and has tons of great moments. But this theme is WWE, and Goldberg's running WWE pretty much stunk up the place.
Yeah, but this theme was actually pretty good.
Yeah, it's one of his better ones. Not as good as WCW, but still a very solid, good theme. I'm going to give this theme actually an 8.
I want to give it a 7. I don't like it as much as his WCW theme, but it was decent, and I like to listen to it.
And Goldberg was always fun. So anyway, that's going to wrap up this edition of Wrestle Theme Reviews. I am Cornshaq.
And I'm File91e. I reviewed Up for my thing, so check that out.
So anyway,
cheap plug.
We'd like to thank you for watching, and of course, we hope you enjoyed.
I reviewed Up. See you next week.